Vlogadome video on the subject of internet infrastructure, sort of, kind of, pretty much. Yeah, I just figured I will do add-ons as necessary, so this is the subject that's come up, and so yeah, I'm going to try to make a video. I've been thinking all kinds of stuff, really haven't gotten to it yet, though, haven't got to the core of it. It's a deep issue, the whole structure. It gets into just economics. It gets into the fact that we do everything through this commercial, capitalist method, and it's just so wrong to do everything this way. It's got to have the public option kind of choice. There's no way to run a railroad, as they say. So anyway, the note I got here: shorten and strengthen the distance between the consumers and the producers. So that's sort of the vision of the internet, and I've said this in probably the other video. Is that, to me, was what I initially thought of when I thought of the internet. When I heard of it as a possibility, I said, well, this is going to be great, because now we're going to be able to buy directly from people who produce things. We're not going to need all these middlemen anymore. I mean, it's just going to make everything so clean and efficient, and everything's going to be organized and indexed, and there'll be all kinds of quality control. And instead, they sold the whole thing basically to the capitalists and the marketers and the middlemen, and just made the thing a mess. Took all the efficiencies out of it. If it wasn't for the gigantic tax break that was provided for online purchases, in terms of the sales tax, the internet probably wouldn't have grown as well as it has, just because there would be no source of it. It still wouldn't be making any money. Inefficiencies of marketing as a method of production financing. This is just, people just don't get it, but when you sell things by commercials, ads, when you force people to make their business known, or make their product known, or make even their video known by competing in some sort of, everybody sticks their hands in front of each other and pays people to figure out ways of sticking the hand in front of everybody else. So you're paying people to get into this stupid competition of look at me, look at me, look at me. And so everybody's yelling, look at me, louder and louder and louder, and the ads get more and more aggressive, and they get more and more numerous, and it's just so corrosive, and we're paying for all that. Everyone pays for it, whether you click on an ad or not, whether you even ever see an ad or not. You're paying for it. It's the price of doing business. Anybody in business has to play by these rules, or they will fail. It's like being on YouTube. You're effectively obliged to become a partner, and if you don't, it will hurt you. Okay, you will pay a price for that, for not being part of the machine, part of the mechanism, part of the revenue generating mechanism, and you're just obligated to play, or you won't be part of the game, and you got to play by these rules. And so it's not only forcing people to do things they think are unethical, like selling things, if they don't want to, but it also obliges them to finance. They're obligated as consumers to also finance a bunch of crap that they have no interest in. So they're paying a bunch of extra employees to just figure out ways to manipulate, let's just say it, morons who click on ads. Then there's the other element of this, which also corrodes the whole content going to be produced. What's going to get produced is going to start being catered to the people who pay attention to the ads. If that's the only way to get noticed is through ads, then people will start making products devoted to people who notice ads or click on ads. And so products will get dumber and cheaper and crappier, and they will be made to satisfy a non-discriminatory, lowest common denominator consumer. So on every level, this is just totally corrosive to creating maximum efficiency. It just creates a bunch of work that doesn't produce any value, and all this marketing crap. 99% of Google's employees are not working on Google search engine. They're working on technologies to deliver ads and to sell ads. It's a marketing company. It's not a technology company. It sells stuff, tons of stuff. And this is just so corrosive. So I put down here the pollutions of popularity, but that's part of the equation here, and especially if popularity is generated through a mechanism that sells advertising. You can see it on cable television. You can see what's happened to television because of this method of financing, is that the only people the advertisers are interested in having as an audience are people who find advertising compelling. If you don't find advertising compelling, if it doesn't work on you, and if it has a negative effect on you in the sense that you find it sometimes obnoxious and actually remember the name of the company and say, I'm not going to buy that shit because I remember that crappy ad they put on, that lying ad, the companies have no interest in you. They write you off as someone they'll produce content for. They're only going to produce content for the people who are going to finance the content through this mechanism, and the only people financing the content are the fucktards stupid enough to be convinced about making important lifestyle decisions based on a 15-second ad. So anyways, it's just totally destructive. There's got to be some other mechanism that seeds or finances or helps produce better content through a better stream of financing, a better mechanism of financing than some grotesque, hand-waving, obnoxious liar's paradise method. This is just totally uncivilized. These are stupid rules for a stupid game. These will not produce a good game. It won't produce a good product. It's just crap. So I put down stylish facades over substance. That's all we'll have. We'll never have the substance if the facades if they can sell it on just a picture of the face of it. If that's what's going to work, then that's what they're going to go with. They're not going to bother building the substance if they can get away just selling veneers and plastic. And that's the world we've created. And it's really disappointing that even to suggest that we should have a publicly financed, some bit of this infrastructure should be publicly financed or financed through some other non-capitalist method where people aren't renting us, our industry. That's essentially what capitalism means. Capitalism means I'll give you something, but you'll give me a profit forever. You'll pay me rent forever on that something I'll give you. That's the capitalist mentality. And we've got to break free of this. There's absolutely appears to be very little motivation within most people to create such a world. And so I'm just talking to the wind. So I guess wind is probably one of the smartest things on this planet is probably the wind. Because everything else looks pretty fucktard and stupid to me. But I've never given the wind an IQ test. It's probably an asshole too. So it's all asshole everywhere you look. This whole thing is just so depressing. This shouldn't even... Much better people than me should be making these arguments. And it's just very disappointing that there's just crickets. And as soon as somebody makes the argument, some asshole say everything's fine, or make some rationalization for why Google's not an evil company, or some other crap, and you're just like, why are you making excuses? They just keep making excuses. You point out, like say, if you point out their search function is totally broken, they'll make it's just the algorithm. It's just they'll just start making excuses, and you're just like, there's no excuse. This is no way to run the railroad. And they just keep saying no. And they must have a vested interest of some kind. They're selling whatever. Hollow Twinkies or something. They're selling some kind of crap. And that's why they want the crap system. It's because that's the only way they can make a living, is in a world that lets the liars rule. and such, and the spammers and all the other shit. I just did a little bit of maintenance work on this website, and I found that there was a couple of places where people are just spamming the comment thing, and they got bots doing it, and it's like, why did they go to the trouble to do this? But yeah, I mean, the whole idea that they can just bot your website into dysfunction, and somehow that's some sort of right people have on the internet. I'm sorry, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense at all that we allow people the liberty to maliciously attempt to disable people's websites. Why should anybody be allowed to do that? I mean, just it's just insane. But whatever. It's not insane. It's stupid, and that's the bottom line. We live in a stupid world full of stupid people. Sadly. Yeah, well, Cosmic Zen, I just, rest in peace, Cosmic Zen. I mean, I don't want to associate him with stupid people, but, he was an asshole. I mean, I'm sorry he had cancer, I'm sorry he died and all that shit, but he was an asshole. I remember he made a Nazi video before I even said anything about the Holocaust. That was just outrageous. I mean, he had pictures of me in tanks and stuff. It was just disgusting. Ugh. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.